completely. So, okay. So, for all of the 95 people and counting in this room, very warm, very happy welcome. It's our first all hands kind of excitement before the runway for Grace Hopper really takes off. So, welcome. May your Tuesday be as beautiful as the energy all of you bring into Grace Hopper. That's the kind of days we should be having where change is possible, impact is real and every day, and everything that we dream of is within our reach. So, wishing you all that kind of energy, let that anxiety, let the tiredness, let the exhaustion and all vaporize and go away. Without further ado, I think now we're crossing about 100 people. So, woo. Um, Thank you all so much for coming. Very, very excited to talk about what's in store for Grace Hopper Celebration India 2027. A lot of people have been asking me what happened to 2026. All we did was move it from December, which is when it usually happens, November, December, to January because we decided we don't want to compete with the holiday season. Everybody is in the mood to party. We don't want to bring them into Grace Hopper just before people go off on their breaks. So the idea is for us to get together in Jan and set the tone and tenor for the rest of the year as we go along. So that's why it's moved to Jan 2021 22. In 2027, it's again happening at KTPO, the same venue as last year. Um, so to everybody in the room, if you've been a part of Grace Hopper before, welcome. If you're a first timer here, then double welcome because you're going to be welcomed into a world of infinite possibilities. How does that happen? Let's speak about it. This is the call for presenters, call for speakers. The speaker opportunity is free. There is no money that is charged. People can apply. As many people can apply. Same person can apply to as many tracks as they want. So there is no count on all of that. Having said that, we'll take questions. Okay, I will take questions. Let me go through what we have to share with you. So the call for presenters, Ask Me Anything, focuses on how to choose your track, how to shape your session, and how to submit something strong. So, one of the myths that most people have is I'm not a great speaker on stage. It's like a muscle that you build. As somebody who enjoys public speaking and has been public speaking for years, the nerves that you feel or the cold feet, etc., are very much based on conditioning and they can be completely rewired. I'm actually going to tell my team if you want, once we have all of the submissions in and finalized, I can do a public speaking, half an hour where there are certain aspects of it that we focus on, right? So, first of all, are you eligible to speak at Grace Hopper? If you have a story on technology, on innovation, or even your own personal story that's powerful, then Grace Hopper is waiting to welcome you with open arms. So, let's go to the next slide. Why Grace Hopper matters, I think for those of you that have been there, there's nothing like it. And not because there's nothing like it, should you be a part of it. I think it's because there's nothing like it that you should all come together and sort of experience what it feels like to be in a room full of infinite possibilities, right? We have women and allies, we have technology, innovation, all of that hangama that all comes together. Learning, networking, understanding the context of, let's go back one. Yeah. So when you're talking about speaking at Grace Hopper, it's about really focusing on something that is very close to your heart. If there's a project, a case study, a personal story, stories of entrepreneurship and resilience, any of those are stories for you to tell at Grace Hopper. And how do you do that? Let's go to the next. For call for presenters this year, we're open for 4 tracks. The rest are invite only. So first, decide which track your topic fits into. Second, decide how you want to present it. What are formats? Formats are simple panel, multiple speakers get together, there's a common topic, there's a moderator, gets moderated, you speak. Presentation is one idea, which is explained very clearly. It's a format where we want to have a topicality-based presentation. There is an in-conversation, which is a fireside chat, 2 people or 3 people even going into a deeper topic. Lightning talks are short, focused talks. They get very sharp shooting in terms of the way that you're think of a TEDx-like format, right? Short, crisp, but very delivery-oriented. The tracks that are open for submissions, as per a lot of the asks that we had last year, we have added a tech track this year. And this year, it's going to be Intelligent Futures, the AI Advantage, all things AI, cloud, ML, all of that goes into the AI track. Translating tech to industry, digital systems, and infrastructure. I think how do you take the conversation into, let's say, automotives, manufacturing, healthcare, all of these layers, right? Architecting what's next, which is deep tech smart design. That's the entire idea of future forward with technology. And the founder's roadmap, which is entrepreneurship in action. So if you're a techie and if you have a powerful story to tell, then the first three. If you're an entrepreneur and you have a powerful story to tell, then the entrepreneurship track. If you know of entrepreneurs, spread the word. If you know of people who would like to apply, spread the word. It's free, it costs no money. And the more you evangelize this, the more exciting it becomes, right? Let's go further. Delving deeper into the tracks, the AI track is basically how AI is being built, how it's being used. We do have an impact and ethics track, which will focus on the responsible AI and all of those bits and pieces. That's an invite-only track. If you have something very specific to that, then drop an email to Arish and me, because the rest of the tracks we're curating speakers this year. And for some excitement, we are looking at the biggest names, including some big names from both international across the seas and from India itself. So very excited with our speaker lineup this year, and we will be releasing speaker lineup starting end of June already. So hitting the ground running early, as you all can see. What does the AI advantage track figure and what fits? If you're building or deploying an AI system and you have a powerful story to tell, if you're evaluating models and working with data, safety, governance, real constraints that you're dealing with currently, use cases that didn't go as expected, things that blew up in your face. At Grasshopper, the one beautiful thing is we don't just want stories of success, we want stories of grit and grime and failure, because failure is a lot more real than success is. And for some reason, especially women deal and struggle with failure in a lot more intense way than their male counterparts. So it's okay to fail. It's okay to fail fast, learn quickly. We'd love and welcome stories of failure. What should you avoid? Broad topics that you can Google and people will just give you enough gyan. Today, AI will give you enough gyan on AI itself. Don't go into that. Bring in your layer, bring in your intersectionality. What does it mean to be a brown woman in technology at the forefront of AI with the revolutions, geopolitical situations, with all of the mechanics and dynamics of it? What does it mean? Bring in those layers. We want to hear from you. Tool comparisons without context, it's not going to work. If you're doing a tool comparison, make sure that it's got all of the research that's backing it. R&D is a powerful way of really embellishing your talk. Make sure that you take the time to research it. And nothing without a clear takeaway, right? Make sure that there are very clear takeaways, anecdotal references, etc., that people can learn from. It has to add to somebody's leadership. It has to add to somebody's skill. It has to add to somebody's learning or breadth of knowledge or to their networking ideologies, right? Remember, we're trying to build skills and competencies. So make sure that these address all of the above. What usually works well, clear walkthroughs. So make sure you walk through in a clear manner. Translating tech to industry, digital systems and infrastructure. This is where technology meets real environments. What does this mean? Systems, infra, cloud, data pipelines, security, privacy in practice, cybersec, scaling something with real users. Give us great customer case studies. We'd love to hear what those look like. Industry specific challenges. If you've had a challenge, if you've dealt with it and overcome it, great way to learn. Nothing like real stories. Avoid theory, avoid no real world links, avoid gyan. We don't want gyan, we want real lived experiences. And vague claims about impact. We'd rather see what kind of impact it led to, how can that impact be scaled, etc., etc. What usually works well? Sharing how a cybersecurity solution system or technology performed in a real industry. Like I said, healthcare, wellness, beauty, automotives, manufacturing, the sky is endless. That's the reason for this track, to be able to have more voices of women working in the intersections of tech and other industries to come and speak about it, and their allies to be welcomed into the conversation too. Technology performed in real industry use case outside of a controlled environment, which means that you have a powerful case study that is already living, breathing, bring it to our notice. Right? So these are things that you should focus on for this particular track. Let's go to the next track. Architecting what's next? Deep tech, smart design. We heard you again last time. This is the intersection of AI, Web3, hardware, deep tech ecosystems that work together to bring to you the technology that we work with. Product and system design decisions, design thinking, right? How did design thinking evolve into what it became when you're in the creator's process of a technology mainstream infrastructure that you're building? What does that look like? Moving from prototypes to something usable, what does that look like? How do you create MVPs that actually stand the test of time and get the funding that they're looking for? Long term thinking around systems. Systems thinking. Systems thinking is something that women have been doing for generations, right? Because if you look at our natural environments, the way women think, and today it's called systems thinking, but it's just that managing the household, managing chores, managing health, managing the children. Women have been doing systems thinking forever. And today, when we talk about it in context of technology and smart design, what does that really mean? Have we really leveraged the talent that we already have in the pool and the ecosystem to get us to those stories? What do you avoid? Concept only ideas. Those again, you can Google it. If you can Google it, don't even think about it. If you can AI it, double don't think about it. Too much jargon, no sense of application. How do you really take this and apply it? Right? That's something that people are looking to learn. So make sure that you align your um, proposals to speak about that impact that you're going to create for the audience. What usually works well? A deep dive into a deep tech paper, a product design use case that moved from concept to real world use. So starting from the MVP to profitability to real world use cases, all of it is welcome. Looking forward to those product stories that really kick some ass. So let's bring those stories in. Let's go to the next. The Founders Roadmap, Entrepreneurship in Action. This track is about building. It's not just talking about building, but people who actually built. From idea to product, easy mistakes, early mistakes, course corrections. What do those look like? Hiring, pricing, growth decisions. The entrepreneurial world is a very different bubble. It's about being bootstrapped in terse environments with high levels of anxiety, going through our systems to try and make things meet and make things work. The ABI team will tell you being a bootstrap startup in India with a, I know it sounds like we're all fancy, but genuinely we are that bootstrap startup. So, what does that look like? What worked? What didn't work? What are the models that actually took off? What are the learnings that came through? What do you avoid? Only success stories. Like I said, this is a platform that welcomes stories of failure. Feel free to talk about all of those failures that led to your ultimate success. Generic startup advice, again, if you can Google it, don't think about it. Anything that feels like a pitch, right? There is a WeQuest program that's entirely based around developing a pitch and pitching it to investors, which will come to you separately. So wait for that. What usually works well? Clear, honest breakdowns of decisions and outcomes. Make sure that you have all of these bits and pieces ready. Those are the 4 tracks. I hope you all know tentatively now for which track you're going to aim for. We have 127 people on the call. All those of you that are applying anything tech related, or even otherwise, if you've been thinking of a story, there's a centering exercise that we do. And I'd like for you to do that. Just close your eyes, take a deep breath in, visualize yourself standing on that stage with the Grace Hopper backdrop, with a sea of faces eager, ready to learn in front of you. And you're standing at the podium, and this is the one story that you want to share. Take a deep breath and stand in that moment for a second. Could be a panel, it could be a keynote, it could be whatever format, but you're on stage, and there is a story that's waiting inside you to be told. Breathe in, let the story form. If it's forming, if you have the idea already, keep that ready with you, hold it there. Bring your attention to what that story is. And if you have a notepad and a pen next to you, just quickly write down what's coming up for you. Deep breath again and come back centered to the here and now. This is always a great way to start before. I mean, I don't think the team knew this was going to happen on this call. Like, they're all like, what? Yeah, the idea of centering is for you to find the sharpest story. And very often, when you let the clutter and the noise go and you take a deep breath, yeah, I can see a lot of hearts. Throw me some hearts if ideas came up for you now when you just did this 30-second centering. Yeah, there you go. There are all the people whose ideas are popping. Take that 30 seconds and make sure that you actually listen to the voice in your mind that's already got your idea. There's a version of you that's already spoken at Grace Hopper. Future paste to that version and think of what that powerful story is, and then walk back and then make your proposal. There is no stronger way to build a proposal than to ask your inner soul, what is it that you want to speak about? So let's go. Let's go to the next. What are we looking for? Something that you've actually worked on, a clear takeaway, a defined audience, enough detail to know what the session will cover, right? Most rejections happen because the idea is too broad or too unclear. So go deeper, right? If there is a particular topic, then say, why are you speaking about it? Answer yourselves when you're writing this proposal, the 5 questions, 5 W's and 1 H, it's called. Why, what, when, where, how, right? Just ask yourself all of the questions, answer that for your topic. And the minute you have that, your proposal building becomes smarter, smoother. What tends to get rejected? Topics that are too wide. There's no clear outcomes to be taken away. The track does not match with the idea. The format does not match with the idea. No speaking sample or video. A lot of times, jurors are juggling with 2,500 plus applications that are allocated to them. Remember, if you need to get the attention of somebody, the fastest hack is before you do your proposal, try and give yourselves a window of no screen. Avoid all dopamine rushes. Don't do a LinkedIn scroll, don't do searches, nothing, right? The idea that came to you when you did the centering, or go back and redo the centering, sit just with that idea without any paraphernalia and think it through and make your notes. The reason I'm saying avoid dopamine hits is when you're in your thinking brain, you need to be in an alpha state. And when you have such a dopamine rush, your alpha state is actually messed with. The reason a lot of people today struggle to communicate is because they're so used to two-dimensional communications with screens that they're unable to articulate what they truly want to say. It's not a superpower, it's a muscle you build. And it's a very intentional muscle that you build. So we're looking for people who are able to cut through that clutter and really deliver something powerful that the audience is going to be in awe of. Let's go to the next. What a strong CFP submission looks like, you should be able to explain your session in one go. It should be clear. Like I said, what is about, who's it for, what will they get from it, how do you structure it? This is, if you read any of those books, Talk Like TED, if you read any of those public speaking books, the structure is very simple, right? Start with the title. That's where you begin. And that's what came up for you when you did the centering, for those of you that it came up for. Think of the audience. If my audience is primarily coming in to listen to me to speak about AI, what are some of the real world challenges I have faced with while working with AI? Now, that human experience is irreplaceable. There is no AI that can give you that. So bring that into your conversation. What is the problem that you were dealing with? What did you learn while you were dealing with that problem? What can the others use that are listening to this? This is your flow, right? We should be able to understand your session without having any extra explanations. And this is for all of the jurors, right? Make sure it's clear, make sure it's simple, make sure it's sharp. Let's go to the next. Common mistakes that happen, trying to cover too much. Remember that you have 45 minutes on stage. What makes it compelling? There's this powerful line, and I will share it with you, right? Sometimes say only what has not been already said, which means that you need to think about what is it that has not been delivered or not been heard enough about this that you have an association with that you can bring to the table. So don't try and cover too much. Don't state the takeaway clearly. If you don't state it, then you're not really giving it the attention that it deserves. So always state it clearly. Submitting an idea instead of a session. Make sure that the idea is crystallized into what a session will hold. Ideas are great. How do you translate that idea into something very tangible that you can deliver in a session is the process that needs to happen before you apply. Picking a track because it feels close. Very often I have seen that, AI folks will apply for the AI track. You don't essentially have to do that. Is a powerful AI case study that you can take and put into an intrapreneurial context. There you go. You have something fresh. Is there something cybersecurity that met AI that actually leveraged and became something else? There you go. There's intersectionality to your idea. It's not unidimensional. Multidimensionize your idea and pick a track that actually feels right. Don't pick a track that feels close. Overcomplicating the language, one of the biggest, and I think I make that mistake too, is my vocabulary tends to have heavy words. And I have to keep reminding myself to simplify it. The simpler it is and the less complex it is, the easier it is to deliver in a session. So remember that the simplicity that you often are thinking doesn't make you good enough is actually a strength to be able to build the language for it in a way that anybody can understand. Let's go to the next. From idea to something clearer. So before AI and product management, after how product teams can use experiments to catch metric debt early. So you see how the before was an idea and then the after is the thinking that came through it. It became more specific. It had specificity for the audience that you were speaking to. It had a defined takeaway. Hence, it became a stronger submission. Now, why does this work? You know what you're talking about. You know who you're talking to. You also know what they're going to get from it. So the track, for instance, in this case would be intelligent futures and the format would be a presentation. So imagine, and I would, if we'll send this deck out to those of you that attended. You can even share it with more people. But the idea is this is where you start. If you can put this out, if you can articulate what the before sounds like, what the after should come to, keep this in mind on the right side. The left and the right together will help you build your proposal in a strong way. We'll send this deck to you. Those of you that want it right away on the phone, take a screenshot. We'll pause for a moment while I look at chat.
And if I can come in here,
Yes.
while y'all are looking at this screenshot and figuring out which track to look at, we also have something called the track content outline, which I will talk about in the next slide as well. The
Yeah.
content outline is a list of all the different buckets of each track that we're trying to cover. Now, each of the buckets don't have to be sort of clearly addressed. Even if it closely aligns to one of the buckets, it works. Prachi, do you want to click on that track content online so we can see the, yeah, there we go. Can you zoom in? There we go. So we have an outline for each of the four tracks created. Like you can see under intelligent futures, we have four major buckets, which is AI systems and model lifecycle. Then we have efficient compute cloud, basically sort of basic cloud technologies, including edge AI. Then we have responsible and scalable AI, and then we have data as a capital. So we have four major buckets, and the same format is followed for all the four different tracks that are mentioned on the PDF here. So I feel like most folks come up to us and say, do we need to match each and every cell or each and every topic here? That's not the case. So for example, if you have a paper on quantum computing or a presentation on quantum computing, it doesn't have to be directly aligned to it. It could be something referencing this technology and it would still fall under this track. So the content outline is to give you direction, not to restrict your ideas at all. That's one. A few folks have also said, leadership and ethics are completely missing from the CFP background. This year, unlike other years, we have three tech tracks. We usually have two. It's either AI and cloud, and then we have leadership, etc. I feel like conversations like career transitions and climbing up the ladder, those have been quite saturated. So this time, we have leadership and ethic conversations seeped into these four tracks. So if you were to go through the content outline, you would see that some conversations of leadership are coming up within translating to tech as well. Conversations of ethics are already covered in intelligent AI. So I don't think you should be disappointed that these tracks are not there, but rather find them within the other tracks that exist, because these conversations are there, they're just a bit more focused. Um, Another, I don't know if we can go ahead and ask a few CFP FAQ questions, Shreya, if that's okay.
Yeah,
I'll
we'll
answer a
go into
few.
yeah, there are quick some questions here in the chat, Arushi. I'll just quickly answer those. And then I want to also address one of the pieces that you spoke of. Our GHCI opportunity is open to everyone. They're open to everyone. We'd love to hear from allies. We'd love to open our arms and welcome the men in. It's about time the men were pulled into the conversation and as opposed to being left out at the door. I think empowerment is collective, and it's time that we bring some of those in to share, to listen, to learn, and grow as well. Yes, the PPT will be shared along with the recording. Who's eligible for scholarships? Scholarships are for certain underprivileged backgrounds with a certain letter that we require, which showcases that. So all of the scholarships are meant for underprivileged, non-working people. There are subsidized passes and day passes that are available exclusively for those that are looking to address some of that. But that's again not relevant to the CFP question. More details on that later. Scholarships, yeah, Karen has written will be opened later, so we will talk about that later. How much does the topic novelty weigh versus the speaker's experience? It is a combination of both, right? If the topic is something absolutely new, exciting, and interesting, the jurors tend to pick. Remember that there are three jurors that are going through every application, and it's voting based, right? So while it's important that the speaker has X amount of credibility. There have been multiple times when there are fresh first time speakers also taking the stage at Grace Hopper. So the idea is always, of course, at the center of it, but having that experience just helps, right? Where can we find the PDF for the content outline? I think that'll be shared with you all. Is the deadline June 1st? Coming to the deadline, I'll wait for some more time. I'm thinking we'll do something about it. Um, no, it's not. You do have a lot more time. The CFP, by the way, has been open all end of February is when it opened. March, April. Read your mails, people. The first time the CFP was open, we sent you an email saying the CFP is now open. There's a line which says Yuddhakal mein Shastrabhyas, which is basically when it's wartime is when we're picking up the weapons to learn how to fight. Unfortunately, because I think the world today doesn't consume text and content, we've been saying CFP is open on social media, on everything. Now, when we have 1 week left to the deadline, is when people are like, we didn't have enough time. You did. It opened up in March, 1st of March, if I'm not mistaken, end of February. And we've been saying it's been open. Go back and look at your emails that come to you from a certain anitaB.org with a title called CFP is open or call for presenters is open. You will find it. Um, okay. 70/30 weightage. So Arushi's answered that. Where can we find past year selected topics? All of last few years content is up on the YouTube channel. There are multiple channels there. It's available for free. In a world where content is so freely available, we decided to make it easy for people to access. You can go back and take a look. All of them are available. No, the entire track is not necessary for the proposal. It's the central idea. There's a structure to the proposal, and based on that is where it works. Yeah, and Arushi is being super efficient. She's also tagged the YouTube link in the chat. Before you submit, make sure you check that it's the right track, because if there's a misalignment, while it may get reshuffled, why take that chance, right? Pick the format that fits. Whatever you felt is the right fit for you, make sure you pick that. Make the title clearer. Make sure that the title delivers the story in a strong way, because that's the attention span most people have. And be specific about the takeaway. Don't wait for a perfect idea. A clear, specific one is enough. Progress over perfection. If you wait for the perfect thing to happen, let me tell you, it's going to take forever. Don't be, if you're thinking about speaking, jump, right? And remember this, men will apply to a job if there's a 30%. match. Women will apply to that job if there is a 95 to 100% match. Don't be that person. Don't wait for perfection. Go ahead and apply. You can do multiple submissions if your topic fits a different format. It can be reallocated. That's anyway going to happen. There are formats you can potentially pick, but ultimately the jurors decide. So, you as a speaker, if your idea gets picked and if you've given a lightning talk, but there's a panel, we will actually reach out to you and say, hey, this is a better fitment. Why don't you take this opportunity? Um, Aren't we having this session too late in that case? Deepa, the idea for this session is so everybody realizes that it's actually just 5 days away. And it's not just 5 days away. We'll we will extend it, but let me figure out what that extension feels like by the end of this call. Okay. The content outline's
Can I
also
take
posted.
the, yeah,
Yes,
I'll
take
take
over,
the,
Anshi.
yeah. So I'll take that question. Is there a format for the proposal? Tanushree, depends on your proposal. If you feel like you have a lot to say, but not necessarily a specific topic, but you want to sort of speak from your experience and you have experience in different fields, I would say something like a panel is something you should go for, where in a panel, you don't need to submit a session title or a session description. You simply submit your speaker profile and then you list down a bunch of topics that you feel confident enough to share your thought process. And then the jury sits together, builds a panel, and then accordingly maps folks to the panels. People have asked that, can I do multiple submissions? Yes, you can. You can do multiple submissions for different tracks for the same track. I would suggest not to do multiple submissions with the same session type, as in not two intelligent futures with two different lightning talks. You can try and maybe mix up the tracks, etc. It's not a long form, but I would say to sort of ensure that each of your session answers should be very detailed because, like I said, there is a jury that sits for this. Can be a part of panelists if our topic fits more from, yes. It might be a solo submission. Yes, it doesn't matter, Vandana. So usually, even if it's a solo submission, but the jury looks at two things. One is the speaker profile, and one is the session profile in itself. If they both are aligned to the track and also aligned to the conference, then you get selected for exactly what you've submitted for. But sometimes it's maybe just the session that's been selected or just the speaker that's been selected. So then, accordingly, if it's only the speaker, they can change the format up for you. Do speakers from overseas are also eligible? Everyone is eligible, yes. As long as you can make it for the conference and you're willing to speak, please feel free to submit an application. Can multiple speakers apply? We have 4 formats this year, and we have presentations, in conversation, lightning talk, and fireside chat, right? And in presentation, we have 2 speakers that are available. You can send in your second speaker's details in the speaker bio and the concept note questions that comes up when you look at the application form. Your concept note is also the same place. You can put in your PPT, etc. What is the duration for each talk? 15 to 20 minutes for lightning talk, about 45 minutes for panels. In conversation is 20 minutes, and fireside is 20 to 30 minutes. I had submitted a proposal, but now want to recraft it. Can I do that? You cannot edit a submitted proposal, but you can submit a separate proposal altogether. Um, if there's a woman entrepreneur, if it's an entrepreneur, then she can submit in the founders roadmaps track itself. Will we get a recording? Yes, you will. Um, do you need no, you don't need to find a partner for the in conversation. You don't need to find fellow panelists for the panel discussions, even for the fireside chat. None of those. You have to simply submit your solo submission as a speaker. The jurors will map you. Now, in the case that you have a speaker in mind that you want to be mapped to, you can add that in your proposal under your topics and say, this is the speaker I propose myself with, but there is no guarantee that you will be selected along with the speaker. Trunk, don't
And
worry, there might be an extension. So,
And for those of you asking if she's a food entrepreneur, entrepreneurship is open to all forms of entrepreneurship. Tech today spills over into all forms of entrepreneurship. Don't worry about what category, go ahead and apply. Blockchain would, yeah, blockchain, if it's in context of fintech, then can easily come into tech and industries, which is the track that you could look at.
Yeah, but if it's
Um,
blockchain justice theory, it comes under deep tech.
yeah.
And I
So,
see there was also, sorry, Shreya, I just missed a question.
yeah.
There was another question on what is the timeline on speaker selections? That we will let you know once the CFP closes. So that's something Shreya will let you know now.
So if somebody needs to know, it's tentatively it's a 2.5 month jury process. So if you're going to be a speaker, you will know at the end of the jury process. And for everybody who's feeling sad that you didn't get an opportunity, there are two asks I have. If you promise, and I want to see a number of hearts, if you promise to talk about the CFP in all the tech communities, if you promise to spread the word, post on LinkedIn, I'll extend it by 2 more weeks. 2 more weeks. Let's see hearts. Well, my frame is doing balloons. 2 more weeks works. Team, I'm sorry, I'm throwing this on y'all. Look at the number of hearts. Okay. Okay. That's speaking to my heart. Team, let's extend it 2 more weeks. June 1st is not the deadline. Let's make it June 15th. Okay, the applause and the hearts. I'm such an easy win, I'm telling you. It's very easy to win me over. Just send me some love. Let's do it, but spread the word, folks. Jury results will be out. Arushi's got that covered. She's going to be announcing that. Burnout in the industry and how to help yourself. Vinisha, burnout would be a topic that we focus on in, like, let's say the unconference or something like that. So if there are ideas that don't fall in any of these tracks, just send them to Arushi and me. We will have them in the back of our minds. If there are topics that are getting built around that, we'll let you all know. I don't see director approval in the form submission. Where should I get it, Arushi?
You can sort of write to us. I'll get that sorted. I think you can see an email ID on top in the chat. Please share in all these requests. We will get that sorted.
Are men welcome to be a speaker, and what kind of topics you expect from them? I mean, men are always welcome to be speakers everywhere. They make up 98% of the most speaking opportunities around the world. But we're not being like that. We're saying it's okay, you can come and speak also. So we'll be nice to you. You can apply for anything technology, right? And you can go ahead and pick up any of the topics that's relevant, that speaks to you. I'm now not speaking in jest, or I'm genuinely saying we'd love to welcome your voices. Please do come and share. Love to hear from you. Men are welcome. Topics are all AI, ML, cybersecurity, data science, design, architecture. The topics have no gender. I wish the world saw how beautifully learning is integrated without gender. Let's continue to welcome that inclusion in. So go ahead, apply. The last sheet in the track mentioned about needing an approval, Arushi. There are people asking about that.
That is the leadership track, and the leadership track is an invite only track. So you cannot apply for that track. It's not open for CFP.
There you go. That's the answer. Please share the form link. So,
Yeah. EdTech, I'll share the form link too as well. And I will send it as an email to everyone that's attending. We will also put it here on the chat. Which track does EdTech strategy fall under? EdTech strategy also falls under an application of tech, I would say. And sort of when you talk about strategy itself, it falls under translating tech. So anything that's application based, that is a usage of tech, it falls under translating tech. Can we talk about our own journey in tech? Yes, you can. There is a founder's journey as well, founder roadmap. You can definitely follow that. Architect track in interactive format. Sorry, I think you mean, is it allowed to make a tech talk in an interactive format? I like to think
absolutely.
that all our sessions are interactive,
Yeah.
and that is the whole goal of GHCI. So, yes, all your submissions are intended to be a lot more interactive than we usually look at.
If your testing architecture and strategy falls in space of a specific industry, then it'll fit under the industry's track. If it's just specific to architecture and strategy, if it's
It
AI
falls under
related in the
AI.
AI track,
Yeah,
otherwise, if it's design or design thinking or any of those related, it falls in the
yeah.
um, third track.
Vandana, the answer you're looking for, if it's less technical and more inspirational, this is a leadership conversation, and you can send in your proposal to the in. to the email since that is an invite only track.
Futuristic tech in AI, which we wouldn't have worked on as a
That's
prototype.
architecting
AI,
what's next. Yeah.
AI
Architecting what's
itself.
next, which is we're talking about the future AI.
Hey, come on,
Women's
yeah. You don't need
safety.
us to answer all these questions. These answers you already know. Now, those of you that have genuinely struggling, or if there is a specific ask which is relating to the Studzy platform or anything, just write into us and we'll expedite that. A lightning talk is a speaker asking questions and giving answers. Please correct. No, that's not. It's lightning talk is a very TEDx-like format. You will speak for the first, let's say, 10, 12 minutes, and then you can have an interactive Q&A. Architect designing data centers, which track can this topic come under? This would, if it's future focused and if it's AI related in AI, if not in the other one. What is the other one, Arushi? The not the AI, not the tech in industries, the design and deep tech,
Architecting what's next.
architecting what's next.
Yeah.
So there
For
you go.
example, data centers is specifically intelligent AI.
Yeah. Can we speak about a product in the market if we have worked on it, detailing the technical challenges and how we worked it through? Absolutely. That sounds like a interesting session. Go ahead and do. Let me tell you all something. This year, the format is slightly different. If you go to anitaB.org, that is the global website, you will not see, just like most of us, we all go to anitaB.org. We are all anitaB.org India. anitaB.org India on social media, anitaB.org India on the website. So for those of you that are following the anitaB.org global pages, make sure you follow the anitaB.org India pages. There you go. Or, Arushi's also just put in the link and the links and the questions and queries that can come to. If someone uses the wrong format, will be considered for changing to the appropriate format. Asking these questions because I don't want to. So pick any format. If you
So
feel that's the right, yeah, go ahead, Arushi.
yeah, so Subhanshi, that shouldn't be an issue. Let's say when you submit a talk, you think you're best suited for presentation, and changing your format would not be an issue because the jury is at liberty to change your format. The only question I would say you should think of is the right track. That also shouldn't be an issue as long as you clearly specify what your talk is supposed to be about. The jury can move your track between tracks, and your format will be set to you. Had if your talk is selected at the end of the selections, you will be told what your final format is. If someone chooses the wrong format, not an issue. It's not an issue. Just do what you think is correct right now. And I would say go with whatever you envision your talk to be.
Should I send the
Listen,
abstract to
the
our email
email is
ID?
here.
If
The
your
email has been
abstract,
pinned.
yeah, but if your abstract is specific to a track, don't send it to us because all juror tracks go through that cycle only if it's not fitting in any of the four tracks that are already listed. Should you send an email? If it is specific to those tracks and you send an email of the abstract, it will not get featured because it's entirely the jury process happens through the platform. So make sure that if you are submitting an application, you submit it into the tracks through the platform. If we get an abstract and it's linked to a tech track, then unfortunately that will have to be dropped because it's not in the back end. So make sure that if you're putting in the abstract and it's specific to a track, it's in one of these applications. For in conversation format, two speakers, do we need both to apply with their respective email addresses separately or a single email address? If you're submitting a proposal which has both and you know who the person in conversation is going to be, and avoid somebody from your own organization because that's what the jurors look for. They want cross collaboration to happen. So if your co-partner is from another organization, you get higher points because you're going to be able to then bring in a diaspora or a mix of conversation. So for those in-person formats where there are two or three speakers, you can apply through one and list your other speakers. Alternately, if you three people applying, you can all each individually apply. I'll leave it to Arushi to tell you the best way to do that. But the point is, both strategies work, but ensure that it is put in the right format.
Correct. And like you've said there as well, it does not guarantee that both will be paired up. You're right. Because in conversation and panel is mostly a solo speaker application. If the jury agrees with you and says that yes, your partner does sound like a good person for the session to go ahead with, then both of you will be selected. If not, it might be a separate selection altogether.
And if you don't have a partner, don't worry. We
Don't
always have
worry.
moderators. You can apply and say, I'd like a fireside chat on the topic of this, but I'm a single speaker. When the jury gets together and does the final filtration, if the topic has been selected, automatically it gets viewed as something that can be clubbed together, and you will be assigned a moderator or a panel or something that's very relevant to the topic that you've submitted. You don't need to come up with a fellow expert. We can easily pair you up with one.
Yeah. Are there any templates to be followed? No, there's no template to be followed as such. As long as your idea is clear and you follow the uploading templates, which is PDF or PPTX, no docs or any other format allowed.
And please, folks, don't use AI to write your proposals. I can't tell you the number of LinkedIn posts, the number of submissions that start with the exact same line. Me and my co-author Namita were working on something where we wanted to feature 100 women stories, and we got so many proposals that started and ended in the exact same way. Different women, different stories, different ages, but AI had written the same story because that's the context. Don't take AI's help, but when you're submitting your proposal, your natural, clearest voice is what will count. Where can we find more information about the formats of the different sessions and the hub proposals? For example, in case of lightning talk or fireside chat, what should the proposal look like? The formats and points it should cover, as it be based more on the applicant's work experience or ideas. So let me take that question. Don't worry about the format. If you have a solid idea, you can speak about it on a panel. You can do a conversation on a fireside chat, or you can do a keynote with it. Your idea is the hero. The format is just the application of your hero. Okay. So don't get caught up in the semantics of if it's a fireside, if it's a panel. What is your central idea? And what is the ideal way in which you want to put it out there? Those are the questions to be asking. Is it required to have prior speaking experience? No, GHCI has had the history of maximum number of first-time speakers coming and speaking at the conference. Is there a minimum number of work experience and other prerequisites? No, for the leadership track, very specifically, there is an outline. It's available. Arushi will send it to you. If it falls within that purview, you can always write in and apply. Those are invited only tracks. Like I said, if the genre is compelling enough, we will be adding that to the format and we will get in touch with you. That's the only one wherein you need to send in an email. How many speakers generally get selected? We have 350 speakers that speak at Grace Hopper every year, and about 200 of those come from CFP. That's going to be the average this year also. So there's going to be about 200 people who join us on stage through this. Do you think there are chances of having few speakers assigned in blockchain? There is no specific blockchain track. There is, you can talk about blockchain in 2 or 3 contexts of tracks. You can check that. Super session, we're sending compliments. Please send clouds. Absolutely. Not an issue. Panel and in conversation are also speaker solo submissions submitted. For presentations, if there are 2 speakers, does one application suffice? Yes,
Yes,
it
it does
does.
suffice. There is a place on the application to mention that you have two speakers. We also say in your speaker bio to share your bio and your co-speaker's bio. And on the concept note, it is recommended to also add that there are two speakers.
I'm
Yes,
conscious of
Pranalika
time.
has
It's
shared.
5:55. Pranalika has posted the exact channels of social media to be followed for you to get all of the inputs. Whichever is your choice, just click on it and follow us. These are specific to India. All stuff India is on these channels. Like I said, this year the format is different. Day one is under 25, day two and day three are mid to senior career. The content is designed accordingly. The agendas will come to you. But the prices are lower than they've ever been before. And right now, if you've attended Grace Hopper in the past, then there's an additional discount that's going on. And the super early bird offer is 11,000 for all 3 days combined. It will not get lower than this. The prices will keep increasing as you go closer to the event. So if you're thinking of securing a pass or letting people know to do so right away.
Yes. And
Arushi
for
has put
all
in all of the links. Yeah.
Yes, everything is there on chat. And for anyone who has applied for to be a juror and is waiting on decisions, those will be out very soon. In the meantime, if you want to apply for CFP, you'll have to use an alternate ID. It is possible you can't use your ID that you used to submit the juror application. As long as you have an alternate ID, you should be good to go for a CFP submission.
No question, just an appreciation post. It's a pleasure to listen to you folks speak. It's an AMA, but it's more than just informative. It's also incredibly fun to tune in and hear the conversation. I'm glad we're entertaining you. Pay us back by spreading the word, letting more people apply for the CFP. It costs no money to tell people to apply and come and speak. Do we have a hackathon on day one this year? Yes, absolutely. There is a hackathon that will get announced. We're zeroing in on hackathon sponsors. So if those of you that belong to organizations that think would be a great fit as a sponsor, spread the word on that too. Do we have, yeah, hackathon is there. Do speakers need to buy a pass? No. Once you get selected as a speaker, you will get your own pass to come and attend all 3 days. In which case, you can always move your pass to somebody. You can buy a pass now, give it to somebody else, or gift it to somebody else, or sell it to somebody else. But because the pricing is so low, don't take a chance. Just buy the passes and just secure your seat. Once your speaker thing comes, you can always sell it or pay it forward by passing it on. If there are any more questions, speak now or forever hold your truth. Because, like I said, we have a 3 weeks out now for the deadline. It's been extended by 2 weeks. My benevolence may cost us dearly, but make up for it by ensuring that you fill the submissions through with all of your stories and powerful voices. Spread the word, spread the word, spread the word. We can do it as much as we can, but y'all telling the world will make such a difference. Push your friends to apply, get your friends to apply. If people have thought, oh no, I can't speak on stage, get them to do it, because the first time you send an application, something changes. The first time you send an application to Grace Hopper Celebration India, there is something deeply internally that shifts, because this platform is looking for your voice and we want you on that stage. So promise yourselves to make sure not just y'all, but everybody around you that's deserving of that stage finds the limelight, finds the spotlight, and comes and joins us. Yay! Awesome. To all those of you who are pumped and have submitted the applications, thank you so much. So much heart, so much heart, so much heart. For those of you who are waiting to apply, apply. Don't think about it. Spread the word. Would love to continue to engage with you all. Follow us on all the social platforms. Thank you, everybody, for all the great engagement. Excited to see all of you at Grace Hopper. We have a few hands raised. Let's go ahead. I think we have Jonna. Jonna, you can unmute. Okay, we have hands in the air. Those of you that have everything you need, you feel free to drop off. Those of you that have questions, feel free to stay. We are here to stay and answer. There are more questions, please do add them. Yes,
Yeah,
Anju, Jonna. Yes,
hey,
yes,
hey,
Jonna.
it's Seisha here. I just want to know, can I just submit a draft and then only finally do a final submission? I mean,
Yeah,
send
I
an
think
email and
there
get.
is a way for there is a
So
way
your
for you to.
concept note is a sketch, is a draft of your session. It
Okay,
is, of course, a very all encompassing draft of what you're trying to say. It doesn't have to be finalized to the T. As long as we, as in the jurors, understand what is it that you're trying to convey in your session, you're good to go.
so I can directly submit, is what you're
Yes.
saying? Yeah, thank you.
We had somebody else. Anju had a question.
Hello. Yes.
Yes.
I had attended Grace Hopper last year. So we were told that we'll get the 1 year membership for Anita B. Has it been pulled off?
So, Anju, and for everybody else who's looking for the membership, you can sign up on the global platform for sure. But there is a transition coming onto a new platform that will be active, I think, by July. So all of you will get to move there, and from there on, you'll get a year long. So don't worry about it. The global page is in the middle of a changeover because they have got a new, fresh, happy, yuppie, young, joyful platform. So they're moving from the old platform to the new one, which is why the delay has happened. But once you get on and you sign up, and we'll send you an email on that. Once that comes in, you can go ahead and sign up, and you'll get a year from there.
Awesome. Thank you.
You don't need to fill the entire application in one shot. We can save some portion and resume the next day to complete the pending application. Absolutely. You can keep it as save a draft and you can come back to it. And like I said, don't wait for perfection. Think about what the world doesn't have enough of that you know the world needs to know. And that's a good enough space to start with. Yeah. Any more hands up in the air? Any more questions? We're down to 61 people, but if there are questions, then, like I said, speak now or forever hold
Yeah,
your
I
peace.
just have one. Is there a questionnaire format in Word or Excel so that we can directly type it there and then save and then
Jonna,
copy and paste?
there's a save draft mode, which for every screen you can save. So it's as good as, and it's auto saved. So you don't have to go in and keep repeating it. It's an auto save. You know how a lot of us fill in our performance appraisals? It's very similar to that. You can save the draft and you can go back to it. You can go to the back page, forward page. So it gives you the freedom to completely do that without having to copy it, on a document and all of that. It gives you the ability to reiterate as you fill.
Sure.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'll take another question here, Deepa. Um, the
I
ID
think,
that
yeah,
you
I
have
answered the
registered to
question. So
anitaB.org has no sort of connection to the Stutzi ID, which is the CFP platform. So if you've already submitted an application for Jura, so whatever ID you use there, as an email ID you use there, you can just use a separate email ID. Now, whether that separate email ID is on AnitaB or not, it doesn't correlate to your CFP application. So you just need to use two separate IDs for a juror application and a CFP application. Great. Okay, I see.
there are more hands.
Yeah, go
Sheba
ahead,
has
Shiva.
raised her hand. Go ahead,
Hi,
Sheba.
Shiva.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, all right. First of all, thank you so much for hosting this. This is super helpful. And I'm asking on this behalf of our organization. So I know I've been like asking you multiple questions, but the thing is, when you said like no docs, but PDF and PPT are allowed for submission formats. So I understand that you are asking for 3,000 as a concept now, or like 3,000 word max limit and things like that. So if in addition to that, if we need to submit some additional docs or supporting docs or something, is that the format that you're suggesting?
So, so if you're putting it into a PDF, Shiba, you can always have the hyperlinks enabled PDF. And if there's specific research you want to point to, you can always hyperlink it there, right? PDF or PPT, both will allow you to hyperlink whatever you want to add on as additional backup, annexure, etc. can go into that. So whatever that application finally you upload can have those hyperlinked areas.
Got it. So basic is a 3,000 word for anything like the usual word limit, and then additional
No,
stuff can go into docs.
up to 3,000 words. Yeah, up to 3,000 words is a good enough concept note, right? Because the juror is going to look at so many ways of, trying to assess it. So if you make it very heavy, it becomes tougher for the jurors. So make it light, keep it easy. And if you have additional supplementing documents, call it out accordingly.
Got it. Got it.
Vandana, we
Thank
have
you.
a question. Thanks, Shiba. Don't worry, always ask all the questions. Vandana has a question.
Hey, Shreya. So my question is like the initial abstract can be written by me, but just if I want to rephrase it, can I use AI there, or that's also something not recommended?
You can use
I would,
AI to clean up, but not
yeah, rewrite.
I
Don't
do
rewrite with
no
AI.
rewrite. Yeah.
Don't rewrite with AI because all of the submissions will sound the same. And that,
Hmm.
unfortunately, by the way, when human jurors are checking it, if
Hmm.
how many of you deal with, show me a bunch of hearts. How many of you deal with LinkedIn fatigue reading nowadays? Just show me exactly, right? So
Yeah.
there's so much fatigue when people write the same thing using AI and it all sounds the same. Originality is gone. So use AI to clean it up, but don't use AI to rewrite it, because when you rewrite it's gonna all sound the same, right? Your voice is what we're looking for. That's authentic. That's real. Don't use AI.
Got it. And one more question, Shreya. Like last time we had to submit a short video about our speaking skills. Is that there this year as well?
Yes.
Yes, in
Yes.
fact, this time we have an integrated live video submission. So once you submit your application, there is a live video 1 minute timer that goes, and you can choose to record it, of course, based on your availability, but it is live and it is integrated in the platform. So there is no struggle on uploading the video and whether the link works or not. It's integrated in the platform, so the jurors will definitely see your video.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, Ashwini, go ahead.
Ashwini, then
Ashwini?
there's Shubha. Shubhashini.
Hi, am I
Shivanshi?
audible now? Sorry,
Yes,
Yes.
there's
Ashwini, you
some
are.
Yes.
issue with my button. All right.
Yeah.
So, while I was trying to fill in the form earlier today, I realized that I'm not able to fit in all the alternative topics that, the instruction kit asked me to put in the form. All of them were not fitting into the 3000 word count. How do I deal with this? Or should I be just making separate applications for each topic that I think would be relevant or which I would want to talk about?
Every topic, every separate idea, Ashwini, should be a separate application, and ideally look at which track it belongs to and put it there, because I'm sure you will have specific tracks and specific
Just
applications
to jump in
aligning to
here,
those.
Ashwini, I guess you're applying for panel, which is why you're asking this question.
Yes and no. Actually, I was confused. That was the reason I signed up to figure out what should be the
So
form that I
if
need.
it's not a panel or an in
Mm,
conversation or a fireside chat,
mm,
especially if it's not in conversation or panel, then every other session based on the session title needs to be a separate topic in itself. I mean,
got
separate
it.
submission in itself. But
Mm,
if it's a panel or in conversation, then you need to just list them all down together in that one answer, in one question that will be asked there, where it says, please list down your experience and the topics that you want to talk about. So panel and in conversation have very clear-cut questions like that, whereas your presentations and your lightning talks, those will have to be per session title.
got it. This is helpful.
Shubhashini,
Thank you.
yes. Shubhashini, you have a question? You're on mute, Shubhashini. Yeah, 1 second. Arushi, can we get Shubhashini's mic unmuted
I can't
for some
unmute
reason?
her. Okay, I think I can't unmute her. I can
Shubhashini, if you can
only.
just unmute yourself one more time. Just, if not, just type it in the chat. If you're not able to, just type it in the chat. Any more for any more. Going once, going twice. I should wait to say going thrice. Go ahead. Any more questions, folks? If you're still listening and if you're still here, then thank you for joining us. Would love for all of you who are still listening to spread the word. Shubhashini, just drop it in the chat. Let's just answer what you're looking for. If not, drop us an email. Happy to respond. There is a CFP specific email. If it's CFP related, drop into that. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Those of you that have questions, stay back. Those of you that are done, tata bye bye. We'll catch you soon at our next conversation when it comes to a theater near you. I mean,